Hey everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Pop's Reaction, BP1 and BP2. Weekend update. We've done some of the newer ones, and a lot of you commented and said, hey guys, this has been going for ages.
We had no idea.
We had no idea. And old DebbierR commented and said, go check out Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin way back in 1979.
79?
I know,
Gee,
yes. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look for one of the old SNLs straight away. Look at the clock on the wall behind Dan.
Brilliant. I mean, Dan with dark hair for a start.
Dan
nice
with
suit.
dark hair. I mean, for me, it was all about Ghostbusters. It was my first introduction to Dan. Obviously, you know, in the early 80s. So, yes, look forward to it, man. See what it was like back then. How PC was it compared to nowadays, where you can't say nout.
1979. I was 14. Never heard of SNL back then, mate. Not a clue. Not a Scooby Diddly Doody. All right, let's give it a go.
Bar or something, but all right, let's get into it. It's very short, by the way. It's only 2 minutes long, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm station manager Dan Aykroyd. During the past few weeks in Los Angeles, actor Lee Marvin and his former live-in companion Michelle Triola Marvin have been in court to settle her claim that he owes her half his income from the 6 years they lived together. That is the subject of tonight's point-counterpoint. Jane will take the pro-Michelle Marvin point, while I take the anti-Michelle Triola counterpoint.
Point-counterpoint.
Dan, times change, and so does the nature of relationships. People are reluctant to get married these days, and looking at divorce statistics, who can blame them? But the lack of a piece of paper does not necessarily mean the lack of a total commitment. A woman in this modern-day relationship may well give up all her own personal pursuits, as Michelle Marvin claims she did, to give her full support to her man's career. And Michelle Marvin is just asking that the courts recognize that reality. Dan, there's an old saying. Behind every successful man, there's a woman, a loving, giving, caring woman. But you wouldn't know about that, Dan, because there's no old saying about what's behind a miserable failure.
Oh. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Okay. There's a
Bagged
PC
out, dried up slunk meat like you and Michelle Triola know the rules. If you want a contract, sign on the dotted line. Oh, but let's all shed a tear for poor Michelle Triola. There was only testimony that she had sexual intercourse over 40 times with another man while living with actor Lee Marvin. But I suppose that sort of fashionable promiscuity means nothing to someone like you, Jane, who hops from bed to bed with the frequency of a cheap ham radio. But hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and Michelle Triola, like a screeching, squealing, rapacious swamp sow, is after actor Lee Marvin's last $3 million. I guess what you and Michelle are saying is that when you're on your backs, the meter is running. Well, please spare us, gals, and tell us the rates at the top. Then we can choose which two-bit tarts and bargain basement sluts to shack up with.
That's the news. Good night.
That's the news. Good night.
Nice CTR. Okay, it was very short, but I mean, that'll have the PC brigade out in droves, won't it, mate?
Imagine it now. Jane, you ignorant.
Wow, went straight in there. Yeah, Jane, you ignorant. It's right there. Brilliant set like that. And I mean, he just rattled that off, didn't he? You know, fair play to him and the script. He just
we didn't know it's
straight through it.
You know, we don't. I mean, obviously, it's a short one compared to the other ones we've done, because they were sort of more news stories, weren't they? Right, as opposed to this is point counterpoint. You know, make it, which I think is good for a good debate as well, isn't it? But I mean, hopping from bed to bed, laying on your back, it's a running meter. I mean, some classic lines that. Yeah, you couldn't say them, and that's the crap thing I think about telly and stuff these days. I mean, it's just too PC, isn't it? I mean, we forget. I mean, even at the Euros are on at the moment, right?
Yep.
And they had the Dutch Netherlands team, and 3 fans turned up, and they had blacked out their face, put a fake moustache on, and a big, black wig with the old, I think it was the '88 Dutch for Ruud Gullit.
Ruud Gullit,
so it was three white men that had sort of blacked themselves, and they sort of said to Ake was it Ake? Yeah, I think it was Ake of Man City. They said, "Oh yeah, what do we think?" And he said, "Look, why are you even asking me that question? Ruud Gullit was a legend I don't care who's dressing up as Rude Hullet. You know, he's a legend. We got to cut out all this woke crap, and you know, and the media they try to create the issues.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Trying to get a reaction from.
It doesn't matter. It's no different to dressed as fucking Superman, is it? And putting a cape on. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And I'm glad he came out in the media and said that, because it's just, you know, they're trying to get a raise out of him to say, well, you're black, that means that you're gonna, you know, you must dislike what they've done. And he's like, no, he's a legend. I like what they've done. Crack on with it. So
welcome to BPR Point Counterpoint with us.
Oh,
BP1
that was my point across. What's yours?
Well, BP1, you ignorance. Oh, no.
Oh, I am. You want me bottom? Well, we've lost it here, haven't we? We've lost it.
So, there you go. Another sensible, topical debate with BP1 and BP2 after hours, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
SNL. Yes, so thanks out to old DebbierR there for that one. Good one. Let us know, are there any other classic old ones that you think, wow, if you think that's a ball on the line, there's some more.
Brilliant. They wasn't hanging about there, was he, old Dan? But great to see him, like I say. Nice back in the day, 1979. Woo, where were you then? What were you up to? In the comments.
-3.
-3.
All right, thanks for joining us today at Britpops React. We'll be back tomorrow with another reaction. Until then, it's a goodbye from old Point taken over there.
And it's a goodbye from the old counterpoint. Oh, right in there. Right in there he was, digging it in. Lovely.
Oh, he's digging it in.
Oh, yeah. Dimash score, whatever.
Oh. Talk to the hand. Bye.